Well, thank you very much, and welcome to Where Are They Now? And as we've been previewing for the last 2 hours, joining us now, now I could say the veteran video coordinator of Colorado Rockies. Is it year 20? What are we in here?
Yeah, this is my 20th year. It's pretty wild.
Brian Jones, of course.
Makes me feel pretty old, actually.
Well, it ought to. Well, how old do you think it makes me feel when I saw you running around the front yard all those years as a little guy, hitting the ball in my yard, and I might have been the original "get off my lawn" thing.
Yeah, you were for sure.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your memory there. Hey, you're out in Phoenix. Of course, the Rockies are playing there, opening a series there tonight. But as I told you, I wanted to get into the All-Star game, which is coming up on Tuesday night in Denver at your stadium. What does the host team? What are you responsible for behind the scenes for an All-Star game?
Well, luckily for me, I don't have to do a whole lot. There's our clubhouse staff has to basically clear out everyone's lockers to bring in, so all the all-star players can come in and have their own personalized locker space. So there's the clubhouse staff, the training staff, and mostly the ballpark operations people getting the stadium all set up have a lot more to do than myself, which I get the time off. They don't beat me up there. I'm actually going to take my family to the home run derby, so that'll be kind of fun just to go sit in the seats for once and watch some baseball. But yeah, there's a lot going on. The city, the county, especially since they had to get this thing going. I don't even remember when they announced that it was sometime in May, I think, maybe April or May, that they were going to move it to Denver, and it all worked out. And the club and the city has done a nice job getting ready for that event.
I assume Denver was in the rotation in the near future, right? I mean, Atlanta had it. They took it away from Atlanta, put it in Denver. I'm making the assumption that you were coming up sooner than later, right, in the rotation?
Yeah, so we were told that prior to L.A. getting canceled last year because of the season that we didn't have an All-Star game, that we were going to have it in 2022.
Right.
And then they bumped L.A. back to 2022, and I guess we were in line to get it in 23 or 24, but I guess the league was in a pinch with the Atlanta thing, and the stars aligned, and Denver was able to pull it off.
Was it a situation where obviously the city, and we'll talk about the Rockies now, despite the reasoning, embraced the chance to have an event like this, so not caught unaware, but you ran through the support people, those who will have to work extra hours, I assume there's no video review, or you're not going to be involved.
No, there is, but I don't know who. I honestly have no idea who has to do all that. If it's somebody from the league or what. I was told I don't have to be around, so I'm going to just assume that it's going to get taken care of. So I actually don't know. I know there's video review in the All-Star game. I just don't know who does the reviews.
Well, they may have to use your equipment or whatever it is. And
yeah, right.
You better hope
they will have to do that.
Don't get broken along the way. The city again, and they're not pointing fingers at Atlanta, but I mean it's an economic boost, and I think it's fair to say that Denver's a baseball crazy town. So I would think that on that level, there are a lot of people economically that are going to enjoy this.
Yeah, I mean absolutely. The good thing is they've been preparing to host in the relatively near future anyway. So they had all the, the infrastructure, the planning that goes into that kind of already, the wheels in motion. So they just had to bump it up, obviously, to a more recent level. So, but absolutely across the street, they just finished the McGregor Square project, which is kind of like, the Battery in Atlanta and the Ballpark Village in St. Louis, one of those multi-use revenue streams. So they just finished the bookstore, condos, office space, hotel, big plaza, and so I think they're welcoming, kind of a huge grand opening for that with the All-Star game.
And of course, you got to back it up a night. You got the home run derby, and man, you said you and your family are going to be there for that. We just saw Ohtani hit one today after fouling two off each foot, and he still got up there and hit it 400 feet. That ought to be something else. I mean, if he's not the story, at least initially, something's wrong, because he's something we don't see a whole lot of.
No, it's amazing what he's doing. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's a good thing he's got his health. I mean, the first couple of years he was battling injuries. He couldn't pitch. He could hit a little, but now we're getting to see him at his full powers, and it's something to behold. I mean, he should be a showcase for that game and for baseball in general, because what he's doing is just phenomenal. I mean, there's talking about. I mean, there's no real comparison except for Babe Ruth, and I think he's a better pitcher than Babe Ruth. And then he's got the year that Babe Ruth, had his, I think his last year pitching, he hit like 29 home runs, and Ohtani's already surpassed that before the All-Star break. So what he's doing is crazy. He's a freak. He's something to behold. You can't take your eyes off him when he's on the field.
Did you cross paths, the Rockies cross paths with the Angels anytime during his stay there in L.A.?
Yeah, for sure. We played him. A couple times. We didn't face him. I think we faced him. I know we faced him in spring training a couple times, but I mean, he was still just getting his feet wet in Major League Baseball and the United States. But we faced the Angels in late July after the All-Star break in Anaheim. So it'll be fun to go down there and play him. I hope he pitches in that series, just because he's the story right now in baseball.
We had the discussion before you joined us on the show here today, maybe about this being a mark of a resurgence of two-way players, but I got to think that there's a lot of major league managers in each dugout that would probably not be all for this, because if you're a halfway decent pitcher in this day and age, which he is, I mean, he's not the Grom, but he's good enough to win games from the mound. You'd be holding your breath, wouldn't you? You get hit or something happens at the plate?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I'm sure there's some managers and front offices that would be a little bit scared of it, but, credit to the Angels and Joe Madden especially for embracing the talent and just the, magnetism of this guy, and letting him just go out and do his thing. And, it's good for the sport to have a guy like this. He's a crossover athlete into, you have LeBron James and NBA players, taking notice of what he's doing. So that's good for the sport, and I'm glad they're letting him do both. I mean, it's so hard to succeed at the major leagues in one, and let alone do it two. That's why you don't see that many two-way guys, just because it's so difficult to. It's kind of like the NFL. You don't see many guys playing both ways, offense and defense, just because it's so taxing mentally and physically to do both. But I'm sure there's going to be a little more openness to it if the right guy comes along. There's a few guys in the minor leagues that have done it a little bit. I think Brendan McKay, the Rays, has done it some. And Michael Lorenzen for the Reds.
That's right, yeah.
Play a little outfield. He's hurt right now, but he's not. I mean, those guys aren't on the level of Ohtani. I mean, just the sheer athleticism and talent and star power that he has. But I'm sure in baseball is a copycat league, just like everything else. So if the next one comes along, they'll be, and seeing the success that Ohtani's had, they at least be open to trying it a little more before they shut it down.
I don't think it'll diminish the excitement level, but the thin air ought to help these guys to get out there and hit on Monday night, and because he can hit at 450 through regular air. I mean, I don't know what he'll do in the thin air.
Yeah, it should be a good show. I mean, the last time in 1998, it was before they started storing the balls in the humidor, so the balls were really flying then. I don't know if they're going to put these home run derby balls in there or not. They may strategically not. I have no idea, just to see how far these balls go. It should be a good show. I think they just finalized the field today. Joey Gallo's in there, I think, was the last guy. He can hit it a long way, too.
As you look around what's going on in Major League Baseball, and you're knee-deep in it, does this video come into, you may be giving us a trade secret, so if you are, tell me so. Are you honed in camera-wise on these nasty pitchers who might have spider tack?
I mean, the thing is like it's been something that you noticed. It was just like an open secret where guys, they have something like, especially when you're watching on TV, that you'll have a camera zoom in on the pitcher between pitches. You'll see him kind of digging in his glove a little bit, or kind of tugging on his belt, or maybe he has something on his hat. But most of the time, it's something like was in their glove, but it wasn't anything that was being enforced and everyone was using a little something. It was like what crosses the line. You want to be able to grip the ball, throw strikes, and have command. But now, with science and technology and the spin rates and realizing how much RPMs you could spin the ball with a more, tackier substance, it's like anything. They're trying to find a competitive edge, and if there's not going to be regulation on it, guys are going to take it too far, and that's what we got with the the high spin rates. Which the higher the spin rate, the harder it is to square the ball up or actually even make contact, because especially on a fastball, the ball doesn't come down or drop as much as you think it's going to. It just stays on plane longer with the more spin, and makes it tougher to square up or hit. So you saw the offense was at all-time lows, more strikeouts, 1,000 more strikeouts than hits almost every month. And that's a tough game to watch. It's just a bunch of guys, if they do happen to square it up, hitting it out of the park, and and then it just took away from, it just became a home run, strikeout, walk situation. And people like watching baseball where there's action, there's movement, there's guys on the bases, there's base running. That's another thing that's kind of suffered through this all or nothing approaches. Just the value in base running and taking extra bases, not making the out at the wrong time. So it's good the league finally is I guess the TSA search at the end of every inning is kind of a weird optic, but the proof has shown that it's been effective at keeping guys from using the stickiest stuff, and offense has improved because of it. The game needs a little more action to keep fans engaged, and so far so good, I think, with the enforcement policy.
You don't want to incriminate any of your teammates, but what was the initial conversation around your clubhouse when this first thing came down? I mean, and again, you're not going to tell me, well, so-and-so said, but was there surprise? Was there, oh, well, if that's what they want to do?
Well, I think mostly it's like, hey, I'm a little worried about not having anything other than rosin, especially in Denver. The ball is slicker because of the environment. It's a little harder to grip anyway. Mm-hmm. And, I think mostly they would like to have something that they could all use legally to help them grip the ball. But I think it helps knowing that everybody was going to be held under the same umbrella, and that everyone was going to have to follow the same rules. And I think that I'm sure some guys were a little bit scared, because I don't know. I mean, it's not something that was out in the public, just in their locker talking about how much sticky stuff they use. It was kind of a discreet, but it was kind of an unspoken thing. But some guys, I mean, it was just and then obviously guys that crossed the line for performance purposes, and it's going to be interesting to see how these guys are evaluated moving forward without some of the spin and stuff that they're used to.
Have things settled down over there in the Rocky organization? I remember, what was it, a year ago? I guess 2 years ago maybe, since he's been there a year, when the Dirato thing came up, and there was some comments made one way, back and forth they went. I guess you get that guy's gone, but you got other people. Maybe he will leave if they Story, I think, isn't he at the end of his contract coming up here soon? You're not in contracts, but have things settled down, I guess, off the field a little bit?
Yeah, things have settled down for sure. I mean, nobody wanted to see no one go. It was kind of a best for both parties thing in the end, to move him along, and hopefully the Rockies get some pieces that'll help us down the road, including Austin Gomber, who's been actually really good for us on the mound. He's hurt right now, but he's had a really good first half. But yeah, it's an interesting time. We actually have an interim general manager who's a long-time scouting director here, Bill Schmidt. He's been here for over 2 decades, but he's kind of holding it down right now. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like moving forward. It is going to be a new direction. We are going to have to see what happens with Story. I think he's going to hit the home run derby, and then I don't know if he's going to be traded or if he's just going to walk as a free agent. Or I don't think he's. I think he's publicly, or there's been public reports saying that he may not be coming back to the Rockies on a free agent contract. And with where we are right now, it might be tough to sign him, just because we're kind of retooling and hoping to get better. But hopefully that'll be sooner rather than later. But it's just tough to see right now with Story's free agency, John Gray as well. Maybe it's just going to be it's an interesting time at the Rockies, but it is stable as far as the front office right now. Yeah.
And we always get into conversations at this time of year, right after the All-Star games. Mathematically, everybody's got about 70-some-odd games left. So you get into that buying and selling thing. What are you going to do? You're going to stock up, get rid of some of your commodities, known commodities, and names get mentioned. Sometimes they never get traded. But I got to think, Story would be a piece that the club could get something for if, in fact, they decided to move him.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You would think so. He's a five-tool guy, great human being. He plays all-world shortstop, has power, can run, he can throw, he can hit. He's a great player, great person. The problem is with trading a guy like him is it's tough to these blockbuster trades at the trade deadline don't always. The front office nowadays with their efficiency and analytics and using everything to try to be as monetarily efficient as possible. They don't offer the haul that they once did. So it's tough to always get back what you think is a proper bounty for a guy on a 2-month rental. So we'll see how it goes. But he could help any team down the stretch.
Yeah, and there'll be some people, maybe throwing it out there, whether they get them or not, that remains to be seen. In the time we got left, I mean, it is an interesting time. You look around the league, and I will say this. I mean, while the Rockies' overall record is not really where they want it to be, you guys have sold out pretty much every game, aren't you? And the fan base there in Denver is unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, the fan base in Denver has been awesome. During the pre-pandemic times, they were, top 10 in attendance for several years, drawing 35,000 plus a game. It's a big park. It's 48,000 people, so it would sell out summer nights on the weekends for sure. Mm-hmm. And then we had limited capacity till the last homestand. But the crowd, the people of Denver love coming out to the Rockies games. A lot of Rockies fans. Some just like coming out to the park and enjoying the weather in the summertime and the atmosphere. But Denver's a great town for baseball.
I got to ask you this too as we get ready to wrap it up. I mean, you just made me aware of this. You just rejoined the club out there in Phoenix. You had to sit out a week or so. You want to get into that?
Yeah, I mean, I was. We were flying from Milwaukee. Woke up in Milwaukee a week ago Thursday. Not feeling all that great, and we're. Almost all of our team has been vaccinated. I didn't think much of it. Thought it was just a cold, but ended up getting a rapid test. Sure enough, it tested positive. So I stayed 10, 11 days in Milwaukee and was able to just get home Sunday and rejoin the team today. So I mean, I feel fortunate. I think you could say the vaccine didn't work because I got the virus, but I really think it did because it kept me from getting sick and kept anybody else from around me from actually. Getting the virus too, which is most important. They can do without me for a little while, but Trevor Story or someone else like that is problematic. So I'm glad it was me and not somebody else, and glad to be back.
How many times now are they testing the club, and are the Rockies at that magical 85% mark?
Yeah, we got there actually the first weekend of the season. We were past 85%. So, and then they shut down. We didn't have to test. Only the guys that aren't vaccinated have to test twice a week.
Okay.
And then people like the rest of us that are vaccinated, we only have to test when we're symptomatic or have possible symptoms, and that's what happened with me. And so they tested some of the close contacts that I had been around a lot, and everyone else was good to go. And I was a little surprised that it was actually a COVID positive, but fortunate that it wasn't too bad.
What in the world did you do for 10 days in Milwaukee?
I got to know the Pfister Hotel quite well. Luckily, they had good room service, and just got through each day. Watched a lot of baseball games on the computer.
Well, I'm glad you're fine now. I'm glad you're back on the job, and I got to think you're a fan. I mean, we've talked to you a million times, and you're a baseball fan above everything else. Even though you work in the industry, this got to be exciting for you. This All-Star weekend right there in your hometown.
Yeah, I mean, it's cool. It's good for the city. It's good to just, just have it back in Denver. I remember when I started working there, they had it in 1998, so I was like, it might be 20, 25 years before it comes back to Denver. So it's cool that it's coming back. I'm pretty excited to just go check out the Home Run Derby, actually watch some baseball in person. I know it's not a game, but it is the Derby. Should be fun. And, just be a fan for a night and just enjoy just having it in the city and the buzz and everything and the businesses downtown and all the people around. So happy for everyone involved.
I got to blame you before we hang up here. I got to blame somebody. I'm not a big analytics guy, so I'm going to blame video coordinators for the analytics movement that we're in. Was that?
Hey,
you?
You can blame me. That's
I mean,
fine.
are you one of those guys who come up with all these things?
Not really. No, not at all. I mean, that's the thing is everything is statistics have been in the game forever. Now they're just taking it to a new level. Some over the top, some good, some to the detriment of some certain things. But it's a fine line of the proper use.
Yeah, and I'm going to still blame you guys saying, well, yeah, but look at this. I got about 20 clips where he hits to this side of second base all the time. See, if you guys didn't offer that up, then we wouldn't have analytics.
Yeah, I know. That's true. Yeah, the guy, every ground balls up the middle used to be hit. Now there's a guy.
Oh, my goodness. And that aggravates me to no end, to see somebody sitting right behind second base. That's just not right. Just not right.
Yeah.
Hey, well, you enjoy the not having to work, I guess, unless they call you in. I guess you can always check your phone, right? Say, hey, you need to get in here for this game. We got something for you to do.
All right.
But if you don't, hey, I appreciate your time, and best of luck for the Rockies the rest of the way.
Always good talking to you.
We'll catch up to you again. Thanks.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right, bye. That is Brian Jones.